What you can expect. In this program, I am going to systematically guide you in optimizing your brain's performance for the challenge of daily living and beyond. This program is very clearly displayed in its requirements and fully evidenced by the latest scientific research in the field of neuroplasticity. Research tells us that 63 days, that's 9 weeks, is how long it's going to take for you to take daily action for the optimization of new and healthy changes to your brain to aid and assist it into optimal functioning. There's lots of research in this area, but looking at the research, what really stands out is the power of consistent and repetitive action. Just like we see when we promote neuroplasticity for neurological rehabilitation in my clinic, it's not the going to see the therapist once a week that's going to make neuroplasticity or brain change possible. It's the what you are committed to doing every day. So consider me a mentor and you the agent of change. You will be guided towards mastery of your own brain's performance. That's quite exciting, right? This is not a passive course. Although there are definite aspects of the course that feel wonderfully supported, and there will be parts of the course when you will be actively participating and putting pen to paper and making notes, journaling throughout your experience. You may need someone to help you with that, so find yourself a program buddy. Why not invite your buddy to share in the benefits of the course too while they help you? Neuroplasticity lives in the interaction between the conscious and unconscious mind. The conscious mind is actively aware of our immediate environment, our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It is our active attention and focus on the present moment. It is rational and logical and can critically analyse and evaluate, judge, and problem solve. We really need it. We'd be at great danger without it. Our unconscious mind, on the other side, resides over our automatic thoughts, emotions, and behaviours without us paying deliberate attention to it. It's more passive. The unconscious mind is more closely linked with our emotions and instincts. We can be influenced by it significantly and not even be aware of this. The conscious mind has limitations. We really can only process one idea at a time using our cognition. But in contrast to this, the unconscious mind has a vast capacity and processes huge amounts of information simultaneously. However, we can't access the unconscious mind as easily, and often it is that which we are unaware of that causes us harm, or certainly limits us from reaching our full potential. It's quite incredible, and we're largely not aware of this. Are you starting to hear that it's quite the untapped resource? And it's a branch of your mind that is available for us to work with right now. In fact, I'd say that right now, your conscious and unconscious mind are interacting. This leads to new learning, new growth, new motivation, and this is neuroplasticity. The more we can get the conscious and the unconscious mind to work together and influence each other, the more we integrate the benefits of each and shape our brain for positive outcomes. You literally wire thoughts into your brain and change the biological landscape of your own brain by doing so. What I'm saying is we change our brain by the way that we think. So what we think is the greatest agent for change in the brain. Your memory develops in this place too. In 21 days of consistent action, short-term memory becomes long-term memory. It then takes 2 more 21-day practices, so a total of 63 days, for this to be automized into long-term memory and essentially into new habits. A habit is a new learned behaviour that becomes automatic and ingrained in the brain's neural pathways. Neuroplasticity has to have occurred for a new habit to have formed. This is the outward evidence of neuroplasticity having taken place. Habits are like superhighways in the brain. Your tasks revolve around the notion that neurons that fire together wire together. This is the foundational principle here. During habit formation, the prefrontal cortex has a strong and important role to play. And as you do your repeated daily practice, other parts of the brain gradually take over, allowing that behaviour to be something that really takes very little thought now, less conscious effort. So it's 63 days of making the habit, but this sets you up. Then the work is done. Over time, these habits become deeply ingrained simply by using them, leading to everlasting change to the point where it would actually be hard to break these new habits. The very nature of forming new and healthy habits for brain optimization breaks unhealthy patterns at the same time, naturally, because the mind cannot hold two opposing ideas at any one time. Neurotransmitters are released in the brain during habit formation. You may have heard of them as they're being increasingly spoken about. Dopamine is one of them. Dopamine is released in the brain's reward system when you do daily practice that is reinforcing positive outcomes for your brain. Dopamine plays a crucial role in motivation and new learning. Dopamine is also involved in regulating mood, which is so often affected by neurological illness or trauma. Dopamine gives us a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of, well, that was a job well done. It can then enhance your motivation and reinforce more positive behaviours. As we work in this programme, you will be accomplishing new goals every day, and the brain releases dopamine when this happens, which bathes the brain in feeling good about it. So, if motivation has been a problem for you, or indeed low mood, I would suggest that it hasn't been helped because you haven't had a means by which you can use your brain the way it likes to be used, the way it is designed to thrive. So if you're not thriving, it's your brain that's not thriving. And the more we tend to that, the more we tend to you and what you want to achieve for your future. Functional MRI scanners, which are brain scanners we can put people into and ask them to do tasks, gives us some very interesting findings. The daily practices you are going to be doing in this course uses the findings of such studies to promote neuroplasticity daily. The studies show us that daily practice of tasks leads to a greater emotional balance. The emotional literacy work you will be doing has been shown to reduce the size of the sensitivity of a part of the brain called the amygdala, reducing the likelihood of chronic stress, which is damaging and limiting to our brain's performance because it reduces memory capacity and brain development. The amygdala is most notably known as the part of the brain that hijacks you emotionally. The emotional literacy work we will do, becoming aware of our emotions and how to manage them, has been shown in published studies to increase well-being and our ability to change through the process of neuroplasticity. What we're actively doing is training the mind to come out of its default way of processing and struggling and bringing the focus of our attention onto more affirmative solutions. By doing this, we're actively taking control, and this is to be encouraged daily to establish a new way of looking after our mind through retraining our brain. We want your Ferrari brain to get running on all cylinders. We want it to be able to drive with a fully powered engine that gets to reach its potential, the potential it always had, but just didn't have the opportunity to access or reach.